Buenos Dias Gunners Collective. Back at it like a smack addict. And as you can tell by today's thumbnail, yes, indeedy, I wrote graffiti all over that motherfucking bus. And we're going to get to it in a real fashion, in a menudo style, direct fashion status. You already know, hung, 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 like that fucking bus. I'm a dick ride to the dick side. Hey, we don't know what cuete is, pero bang, bang, gun, gun. Trip out. So, what I wanted to get to today is I wanted to talk about N.O.R. Records, right? For those of you that don't know, have never heard of the Babosos, it's Northern Organized Records, right? And this record label, has been around for a minute, but no one really heard of them to just, maybe the last few years, last couple years. And they started making noise, and quietly as it's kept, man, they put out a lot of good rolas, a lot of good Northern music, right? Northern rap and even some Spanish music, right? And the Vato who's the owner of the record label, or who is in charge, is one Vato known as Blanco Ballin, right? And, just another record label doing their thing. They start off slow, homie. They start getting artists. They start recruiting. And just like any other record label, it's a building process. So, hey, watch out. Hey, you want to join my record label? Hey, what do you guys have to offer? Studio time. Vámonos a la verga, right? And they're in. And that's all it takes. And when you get a whole bunch of youngsters involved that ain't never had nothing, ain't never really been nowhere, hey, that's even better for the mero, the vato that's running the whole honeypot, right? Now, I got a lot of music producers that are my friends, personal friends, acquaintances, associates, or whatever the case may be. And a lot of them started out on that rocky road. So they started out right here, and now they're way up here, balling, and all it takes is that one breakout artist. You get that one artist who starts to get, sky is the limit, and in that fashion. But this Vato Blanco Ballin, he kept it true. He kept it real. He kept it to the calles, to the streets, hood certified. And he was out there recruiting young Northerners to be part of this collective, basically part of his record label, Northern Organized Records, right? N.O.R. Records, for those that don't know. And they were doing their thing, man. They were based up out of Mexico, pero had a lot of roots in Sacra, a lot of roots in Sacramento. And he was dealing with individuals such as Young Cinco, Rico Too Smooth, and several other artists of that character, of that fashion, right? And hey, quietly as it's kept, I got to give them the respect, man. They were out there making noise. They were out there doing it. They were really making some good music and continue to. But at the same time, man, there's been a lot of turmoil and a lot of questions that have been being asked lately. So I was get gun, hey, what happened? Check it out. I'm going to tell you what happened. So, people were asking me, hey, what happened, man? Just a few minutes ago, it seemed like everybody was on Northern Organized Records, man. They was really blowing up. They were doing their thing. They were coming up. And in that fashion, we were seeing them on Instagram in private planes and in the studio popping bottles. Oh, my, right? Oh, boy. They were doing their thing. And then something happened. Something changed. Something switched up. Yes, indubitably, indeed, I had to get on the phone, tap into a few of my homeboys and find out what was going on, what was really going on with this Northern Organized Records. Hey, I listened to their music. Did I pay them any of mine like that? Charlie, bro, in that fashion, I just wasn't really, up to par on what was going on with them and didn't really care. But now it became a spiel that I have to give you the people. Word on the curb is that this Northern Organized Records, homie, was actually funded by the federal faction, right? And I'm not going to sit here and say that they funded it completely and for sure, or that all I can say is that they were behind it, and that this Vato Blanco Ballin and the N.O.R. Records were functioning up under the federal faction of the NF. Yes, indubitably and indeedy, this is the word on the curb, right? And cool, cool, man. If you want to look out for the big homies over there, and your allegiance is right there, hey, that's understandable. Hey, there's two sides to every story. So I was like, hey, A or B? I'm gonna take door B. Well, then vámonos, and that's how it is. But at the same time, that means the state faction is feeling some type of way. And word on the curb that the homeboy told me is that the state faction actually deemed Northern Organized Records no good, right? And so what you've had lately is all this influx of young talent, these Rico Too Smooths, these Young Cinco's, all these vatos that were to the fullest with this N.O.R. Records left, right? Okay, now vatos are just starting to notice because they're not shouting out N.O.R. anymore. They're not in the music videos. They're all now independent, different record labels. And vatos are hitting me up like, "Gun, what you heard about this? Hey, what you know about that? You don't know nothing about that. I know everything about that. Watch out." And in this fashion, because of Blanco Ballin's allegiance to the Fed faction and his organization, his record label being over there, well, the state faction felt like they ain't getting paid from it, homie. They're in a fracas or in a division with the federal faction, so they felt some type of way. So, you guys are no good. And anyone that functions up under them or with that record label is deemed no good. according to what the state has going on, right? So Vatos being from California, we all know that California functions under the state, you know. Hey, Blanco, despensa en la tira, pero drop the mic, exit left, exit stage left. These Vatos left. They left the record label. And that just goes to show you how the political aspect of these gangs or these organizations, man, are powerful, bro. They're very powerful, you know, where they could dictate even outside their realm. They could dictate, you know, the music industry, movies, just a lot of different things that are going on in this world around us today, man. These Vatos have their clutches in, their claws in, and hey, their word is their word, bro. You know, you don't go against the grain. You go against the grain, man, you can get Uncle Ben. You know what I mean? So let's get arroz, period. Just what it is, you know. They don't play Uncle Ben style. Now, at the same time, you need to understand that by these Vatos basically defecting from this record label, they did the right thing, you know. Am I going to sit here and say, hey, Charlie, homie, they're suck. They're dropouts. They dropped out of the record label. Charlie, bro. It ain't nothing like that. Far be it from that. You know, when Vatos are about their business and they're functioning under a certain faction, hey, you know, they have to do what they have to do, and this cannot be held against them. Only if it's a court of law, orderly. It can't be held against them. These Vatos wiggled, and they did exactly what was mandated and what the dictation told them they were supposed to do. So people were asking me, they were like, hey, Gun, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Hey, my opinion doesn't count anyways. But for those of you viewers that take my opinion and don't take it lightly, I think what they did was the righteous move. Now, as far as Blanco Ballin and whatever dealings he has with the federal faction, his allegiance to them, again, that is the right move for him. Reason being that, hey, when you're when you support some group or you support them, and you support them to the fullest, you do it to the fullest, you do it to the utmost that you can. You know what I mean? And these Vatos on the other side, now, if you're taking these youngsters and they're not really knowing what's up, but they know that they're smart enough to understand, man, how to break the music industry away from the gangs. You know what I mean? There's a separation. It's a thin line, orale, between love, between the Fed and the states, orale. And functioning under the state faction as far as their gang goes, but kicking it with someone who's functioning under the federal faction that they're working for, hey, man, one's got to go. Orale, homie, don't play that. See you later, clown, right? And vámonos. Do I think Northern Organized Records will continue to pump out the good rhymes to get some more gente, get some more people involved? Absolutely. What I think is going to happen now is they're going to get products from Mexico or Vatos that are from different states that function under the federal faction to reorganize and revigorate this record label. You know, this is just what I've been hearing. Vatos que could be totally outbased, despensa en la tira. But at the same time, you got to understand, man, the Gun's going to always bring you the hot exclusive news, and that's just what I do. So yeah, concerning the N.O.R. records, that's what I've been hearing, man. And I mean, hey, like I said, just like anyone else, man, that's from up north, man, we all listen to their music, you know, and man, they had it going on, bro. I was seeing piles of money, what the private planes, what the Lamborghinis, oh my, right? Y todo. And I was like, damn, these youngsters are really doing it. And I already know everyone's like, hey, Gun, but you talk about the Hoto generation and the youngsters. Nah, man, it had nothing to do with the business acumen of what they had going on, right? I always respect Vatos that are about their business and Vatos that are about the money. Now, let me separate business from business, right? A business sense of being savvy and a business sense is going out there, getting your bolsita, getting your money, taking care of your business as far as working, man. You know, it's hard work going in that studio, man, waking up at a certain time, staying in there for hours, getting your mind to going, homie, spitting that flow. In any case, it's a job. And these Vatos were doing their highlight to the utmost and doing it righteously. You know, they had some good music pumping and continue to. Now, at the same time, the business is the business, right? And I can't say that the Vatos were doing that to the utmost because I don't know. And quietly as it's kept, that's none of my business, right? So we're going to do it like that. But at the same time, when it came push to shove, man, and they had to make that decision, do we stay over here with old Blanco and get this bolsita? Or do we go over here with the homies and the struggle is real and continue in the game to work hard towards our ambitions and our goals, right? They chose the latter. And for that, we can't be mad at them. You know, if anything, you commend Vatos for standing on their 10 toes and doing their thing. Now, at the same time, it was at the directive or the directions of the state faction. But hey, when you choose to put your hand in that cookie jar and you choose to make your allegiance to that said group, sabes que, to the fullest, you know. Hey, if anything, that's a brownie point. What you guys did that. You know, I ain't mad at you. Again, at the same time, man, it has nothing to do with the Hoto generation or the youngsters or this or that, man. You know, anyone can get it. What it is, bro, is I don't care for the fashion. You know, I don't care for skin tight jeans. I don't care for pink sweater. Hey, oh my, you know what I mean? That's not me. I keep it old school, homie. Old English, Gunners Collective style. That's just me. You know, ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with what they're doing. Ain't nothing wrong with what I'm doing. But at the same time, man, you do you, I'm gonna do me, and we're gonna do it in that fashion. Bang bang. So yeah, man, I just wanted to bring this to the attention of the gente because I've just noticed, you know, the N.O.R. records, you know, it just switched up. It was overnight too. It just happened, bro. It wasn't like a gradual thing that, okay, hey, this vato fell off, then this vato fell off, and follow the yellow background, follow the vato. You know what I mean? Drip, drip, drip. Nah, it wasn't nothing like that, bro. It all happened overnight. 1 minute, Rico Too Smooth was sa sa. The next minute, he was like sa. He was gone, right? And it happens, bro. It seems to be happening. You know, there's been a lot of record labels that will lose independent artists or lose artists off their label, and it's always due to something to do with business. You know, hey, this contract wasn't right. Vatos weren't feeling they were getting put on the shelf. Their music wasn't getting pumped. They weren't getting enough exposure. Whatever the case may be, man, the music industry, I'm not really heavily intellectual when it comes to that, so I can't call it like an alcoholic. But at the same time, and in this fashion, I will tell you, man, that things happen for certain reasons, and it is what it is. You know, that's part of the nature of the business. But this right here is when the gang lines crossed into the music industry, and it happens, bro. You know, it's happened before with Death Row Records, where Suge Knight, you know what I mean? Shout out to Suge, a real one, where Suge Knight was actually part of Compton, you know, a Blood, you know, and was about his mob music, was about going in there on some gangster shit and really regulating his artists, really about his paper, about his money, and doing it in a thug fashion. Give me some of that thug fashion. Orale, the remix. This is what he was doing. And, you know, there's been a lot of stories. We've heard a lot of stories. You know, watch TV. Google it. Google it, and you'll hear how Suge was basically regulating his artists. Terrorist threats were happening. He was smashing on them. You know what I mean? Just, hey, fuck you. That's to pay me. Right? He was doing what he was doing on Bloods. Right? Hey, you know what I mean? Vatos that were in that realm really know what happened. You know, like I said, there's 3 sides to every story. Your side, my side, the truth. But I lean towards the truth. And that's what it is. But this is probably the second instance that I've seen the gang lines cross into the music industry or the actual business side of what's going on. You know, and this is it's a dangerous situation, you know, and I feel for the youngsters that were finally, I mean, they were feeling themselves. Imagine working hard, getting up, man, trying to be a rapper. You know, at first you can't rap worth shit. You start getting a little bit better. You start meeting contacts. Someone in the industry says, hey, man, I like your shit. Next you saw mind blown. Orale. Now you know you could do it. You can make it in the industry, and actually getting on private planes with piles of money and orale, Ciroc, and you're really doing it. And then a couple months later, some vato that hasn't been on the guys for 20 years says, hey, Sasuke, watch out. Wait up, let me get my whip. Oh, what's that playing in the background? That's dum, 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 dum. That's real music. Hey, watch out. Hey, youngster. No, fuck no, I ain't gonna hold. Hey, yeah, you guys gotta leave that baboso. Hey, ¿por qué? Hey, you're in Mexico, all of a sudden you talk Spanish. Trip out, huh? Because I said. Pues okay. And that's it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna get into the details of why, who, what, when, where, how, and all that, man, the 5 W's. Hey, the vatos said the vatos are no good for this, and that particular reason. So obviously, you just got to roll with the punches. That's what being part of a gang entails. That's what being part of an organization or at the dictation of an organization entails, you know? When the vatos say jump, you don't ask how high. You just jump, homie, and hopefully you hit your head on the fucking roof. You know what I mean? To prove yourself. It's the way it goes. I myself, man, when I was functioning, I was active, I was out there. Vatos that were above my pay grade used to say, hey, Sasuke, we need you to do this. I didn't say, why? Right? I just did it. The one fucking time I did even question it, so I was scared, watch out. I'm not active. You know what I mean? It's just the way it goes. That's how life goes, man. You don't question the authority in charge, and you know what I mean? And you'll last another day. You know, how many days? I can't call it like an alcoholic, but at the same time, get your groove on and your move on. Groove with you. Who's that? Isley Brothers. All right, so look. Trip out. Yeah, Northern Organized Records, man. Like I said, I think they're going to continue to rock the good ride. I think they're going to continue to pump out some good music. It's going to be a trip just to see how they reorganize and how the scramble is real. Do I think anything about the artists that left? Actually, man, I think that they did the right thing, and I think that they're going to continue to make dope music. You know, I know that maybe a few months ago, you know, they were calling me Gunner Too Smooth, and people thought that I was hating on Rico Too Smooth, whatever the case may be, man. And that was not, man, I capped on him a little bit, so I was scared, you know what I mean, the Predator, and whatever the case may be, it is what it is. At the end of the day, man, he makes good music, and I respect it, and I listen to it. As far as the other guys go, Young Cinco and whoever, any other artist that was on that label, I don't really listen to the music. I don't know. There's a couple of authors I do, a couple of authors I don't, man, and we're just going to leave it at that. But I believe independently and whatever they're doing in their life, they're going to continue to make it happen because they got to that point once. They could do it again, you know? And that's for all, this is for all these little youngsters that are out there, man, that say, Sasuke, I achieved, right? And then you fall back, you know, you dust yourself off and try again. Orale, you got to try again. It's a constant hustle, bro. Moving fast with a purpose. That's called hustling, right? Not hustling, vatos. You know what I mean? Hustle yourself, bro. Throw them fucking shoes on. Just get, hey, and hustle. Get there. Because you made it before and you can make it again. Okay? Now, as far as Northern Organized Record goes, man, I believe they're going to continue to hustle, like I said, as well. You know, but they're going to have to do it separately because the gangs dictate this. You know, again, this leads back to that federal and state faction, man, and what's going on with that division, you know, which at the end of the day, vatos that have been somewhere say, you know, it's a cold situation, but it is what it is. It's the Hatfields, Orale versus the McCoys, and they are whoever you think they are, either way, you know. At the end, there's no winner. The only winners are the gente that sit back on the sidelines and get to listen to the good music, no matter who's pumping it or who's producing it. Those are the winners. The gente that wake up in the morning, that go to work, Sasuke, put that fucking 415s on and listen to Rico slap. Those are the winners, right? And anyone else involved, man, that you know is doing the righteous thing for the gente, by the gente. Again, I just want to reiterate that that's the word on the curb. Is this actual factual information? As I know it, as it was told to me. I'm not going to sit here and make nothing up. I'm not going to sit here and put tapatio on it. So, orale, fuck all that. I'm going to give it to you really like it was really brought to me. Vatos ask the questions, and I tell no lies. Sasuke, here it is. Bam. On your plato, eat it if you want. If not, Sasuke, hey, I don't like cebolla either. It is what it is. You know, it's crunchy. But it's facts, It's facts that if you all you got to do is look into it, that all of a sudden they left the record label, and it's due to this friction between the state and the Fed faction. You know what I mean? Am I here to put their business on the streets? Nah, Charlie, man. Their business is their business. Like I said, business and business. But at the same time, that's what it is. The people demand an answer, and they have a question, and I got to answer it. And that's just what the business is. So with that being said, you know, I hope that you guys got everything that you want coming to you. I hope that you move fast with a purpose. That's called hustling. That's real hustling and facts about that. At the same time, man, support all these local rappers, support all the gente, man, support all the raza that's really out there trying to make a name for themselves, man. We will do it. We shall prevail, man. We've heard it before. Little Rob made it all the way to the top. Frankie J made it there. Baby Bash made it there. Lighter Shade of Brown. Don't. Shout out to Kid Frost, the Godfather. He made it there, as well as Sir Dino and other rappers from up north that did it as well, right? It can happen again, man. You youngsters got to stand 10 toes down, man, firm in your beliefs, man, and hustle, because that's, at the end of the day, you don't need Blanco Ballins, and you don't need this record label and that record label, homie. Start your own. That's real entrepreneurship. That's real Chicanoism. That's real game, homie. The gun, bang, bang. And in that fashion, let's talk about something else real quick, since we're here. I hope that you guys have liked that these interviews I've been doing. People have been asking me, hey, are you trying to step on stories written by the Vato Tony's prisoners? Are you trying to step on his toes? With these spills you're doing? Absolutely not, man. Like I said, Tony is the gente. He's the people. He's the raza. He has his lane, man. I promote unity. I promote what he's doing. It's nothing but love. At the same time, man, I'm just giving a few interviews to the people to kind of switch it up, man. You know, that's all I'm doing. I'm not trying to get in the Vato's lane. So you know what I mean? He don't want me there, and I ain't trying to be there. But at the same time, I am going to keep rocking the dope rhyme, and I am going to keep pumping interviews out whenever I get them. And that's just what it is, you know. Like I said, I'm for the people, by the people, man. And, hey, Sasuke, this is YouTube. We can make it happen, Captain. Just what it is. And it was gracias, gente. At the end of the day, it's still the gun. Gunners Collective. You know what time it is. Bang, bang. And in that fashion.